Go ahead, Mike, and then we'll go to the press box.
Mike Muller, MikeMuller.net. I assume there's going to be beer around at the end of this thing, On that restart, Kyle Busch, best restarter in the business, I think. Maybe you probably think, too. He's on the inside. He likes the inside. You got Jimmy Johnson back there. What were you thinking on that restart? Because you're getting out front on that restart was the key to the race.
Well, yeah. I think I really had some bad restarts at the first half of the day and kind of took something from that to make sure I had a better one at the end. And at the end of the day, you come to tracks like this where there's really long straightaways. And it's much like this in a nationwide car, probably more often. Your fate as the leader of the restart is determined by the success of the car directly behind you and what he chooses to do. And Kyle's fate was sealed the second the 48 made the move that he did. And there's no way for him to know that. I think probably the best way of explaining it is if you go back the restart before that with the me and the 22, I think we're on the front row. I think the 31 was behind Kurt, and the 20 was behind me. If you go back to that restart, we were pretty even all the way through turn one. We had equal help coming through the gears, and Joey, up off of 2, was able to clear the 31 car and get down in the lower lane and give Kurt a push. Now, that sealed the fate of what was going to happen for everybody. And so at the end of the day, the success rate of the car behind you is really the difference maker at tracks like this. And it's probably hard to explain, probably hard to see and understand, but that's just the reality of it with the way the racing works, and that's the deal.
Let's go to the press box for questions. Go ahead.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Congratulations to both of you guys.
Thank you.
This question is for Paul. How tough a call was that to bring the 2 Penske cars in for fuel and tires right before the rain was supposed to get there? Did you have second thoughts about taking a risk like that, given the fact that it could have rained and stopped the race at that point completely?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's always a risk in any call like that, and as we've seen here of late, it's everybody's getting more aggressive on their calls and how we're playing the fuel strategy game. But I had pretty good confidence. My engineers, they seemed like they were pretty confident that we were going to go back green. So at that point, I know it's going to take calls like that to get us in the chase. And we've got cars that are fast enough now at this point in the season to race in the chase. We've just had a rocky start to get here. So I feel like I said, we're good enough to be in the chase. And I knew it was going to take a call like today to get another win to get us closer to that opportunity. So, it was.
Just tell him, Paul, you got balls this big. Just tell him.
Yeah, it's.
Because if it wouldn't have worked out, man, it'd have been rough.
Yeah. So, try to make calls like that. They're somewhat educated. They might seem a little more risky to people that don't have all the information in front of them, similar to what we were able to do at Kansas. But we're sitting here with a win today, and I feel like we've still got some tracks coming up here before the chase where we have an opportunity to win another one.
We'll take this gentleman here from Pocono. We'll go Scott, and then we'll go to Skip.
Brad, Mike Coons, Pocono Record, right here. My question is, what gave you the most discomfort in the car, and how did you have to adjust?
What gave me the most discomfort? I think probably the biggest thing for me was, since I'd been laying in a bed and just laying around for 2 or 3 days, the energy that you lose from that, just a complete zap of energy lost, was probably the biggest thing. I just didn't have any energy in the car. And, I'm wearing a foot brace, which was helpful. But again, you lose some things and it still hurt to push the pedal, but it didn't hurt as bad as it would if I wasn't. And then to add into that, I cut my hand open shifting from a blister, because I didn't get it taped, because I forgot about that, worrying about my leg. And it was about every damn thing you can think of, other than having to pee, but it's the way it goes.
Scott Walsh from the Scranton Times. Brad, congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is quite the same as John Menard and Paul Menard, but your dad won here a number of years ago. Can you talk maybe a little bit about how that feels to win here? The fact that he did that a number of years ago as well.
Absolutely. My dad won here in ARCA, made his one and only Cup start here, and it's random stat time in the media room. But my uncle won a race here in USAC back when they ran USAC here. So this track has always been very special to my family and treated us very well. And didn't treat me very well in the 3 other starts I made here. So it's nice to kind of make up for it.
That was my question. I was going to get your reaction to Ron Keselowski winning a 500-mile USAC stock car race.
Was that 500 miles?
It was a 500-mile USAC stock car race.
That.
Yeah, it was 1974, the last year.
Were you there?
No, I was at Martinsville. But
he was there, wasn't he?
Everybody thinks I'm old. No, I was at the first 3 USAC. I was at the first 3 USAC stock car races. I did cover. The one I didn't cover was the one that Ron won.
Man. Dang, I'd like to see a newspaper clipping of that because I've heard the stories and seen pictures of the car, but...
Buddy Baker was in that race. He had the pole.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had that 71 car that I...
The way my uncle tells the story, he smoked the field. So I've always wanted to know if he really smoked the field or not.
We have to look that up.
I would really like to know that, because if he didn't, boy, would I give him hell.
I'll tell you what, next time I go to the library, I'll look that up for you.
All right, thank you.
But so 3 Keselowskis in one here, but 2 and 500 mile, that's great. Okay.
All right, let's go back here to Bob Pockris. Then we'll go to Dave Rodman.
Bob Pockris, Scene Daily. Paul, I mean, we all heard Brad said that he was definitely racing today and he wasn't getting out of the car. I was curious if you have any say in that.
I said I wasn't getting out of my damn car.
Yeah, okay. I was curious, Paul, do you have any say in that? And was there any time where you thought you may need to talk to somebody and say, hey, maybe he shouldn't run?
Well, I hope I've got enough respect, and Brad has enough respect for me that, if I felt that way, he would. But there was no signs of that this weekend. I had some people talk to me on Friday and ask, what I was going to do in the car to, make it so Brad could drive the thing with the pain he was in and his trouble with his foot. He sat in the car Friday before practice and felt real good about it, and didn't want us to do anything different than we would normally do. And basically, what I thought the best thing we could do to help his foot was give him a fast race car. And all the guys worked really hard on the Miller Lite Dodge to do that this weekend. And I think giving him a fast race car took care of anything that we could have ever done to help him inside the car.
Go ahead, Jay.
Jay Pennell with SB Nation. Brad, you talked about today, you woke up thinking you're going to win the race. When you had the accident on Wednesday, sitting in the hospital, sending pictures of your ankle, what did you think about this weekend? Did you think, A, that you were going to get it in the car? Could you imagine that you were going to be standing in victory lane?
Well, I knew I was getting in the car. I just wasn't sure how I was going to convince Paul and Roger that I was going to do it. But thankfully the doctors handled that part for me, and I'm glad of that. But I don't know, man. It just all worked out.
Was there ever like a moment of doubt that at all?
No.
Any other questions?
Not for me. I don't know about him.
He's lying.
There was not. There was a moment where I said, "All right, what doctor am I going to have to bribe?" But there was never a moment of doubt. For the record, I didn't, because I know you're all going to try to write that story. But
go ahead, Dave.
I didn't have my wallet.
Yeah, Dave Rodman with NASCAR.com. Congratulations. Brad, have you spoken with Roger yet, and what was the substance of that conversation, if you have?
Yes, I did, and they're in, was it Mid-Ohio today?
Yeah.
I don't know how it went, but not good. Okay. All right, well, I'm glad we could carry the banner. They do the checkered flag flying, so glad that we could fly one for them. But, yeah, I did speak with him, and, I can't remember much of what he said, to be honest. There was a lot of people yelling, and really kind of turned off my memory bank. But we talked a little bit about, the soldiers in Afghanistan, and that was actually what I do remember the conversation. And, I think that he feels the same way about it as I did in what I said in the media center, and not media center, where the hell were we? The Victor Lane. And so that meant a lot to me that he would say that.
When do you guys think what you've done today will sink in? Like, basically, if you don't test between now and Richmond, you're virtually in.
I don't know. Hell, I mean, it'd probably be under a couple beers. Probably sink in real good then. But, hell, I don't know, Paul. What do you think? When's it going to sink in?
I don't know. I just feel like this team's come a long way, and I'm just excited to to be able to be part of it. And I feel like we're only going to get stronger as we start visiting some of these other tracks for a second time. Obviously, Pocono being the first one of those, and to be able to have somewhat of a notebook now. I feel like we still have a long ways to grow and be better, and that's the encouraging part to have already won 2 races this season and know that we're not operating at our max potential yet. I think says a lot about the team and what we're capable of, and everybody at Penske Racing's done a good job at giving us the tools we need, and it's our job to go out here and do what we did today. So excited about what we've done, and like I said, just can't wait to get back to the next race.
Any additional questions? Got one more here. We could get him the mic, Angela. Thank you.
Scott Walsh, Scranton Times again. For both you guys, Brad, you said this earlier. The magic words: if you stay in the top, or able to stay in the top 20. Any strategy now changes where you kind of try to protect your position a little bit, making calls, that kind of stuff, or you still kind of go after it these last 5 races?
Hell, I don't know. I haven't really thought that far yet. So, shoot, we just need to go out and do what we've been doing. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, I agree. We're like I said, we've had cars fast enough to be in the top 20 easily in points. We just got to limit the mistakes. Obviously, the 2 wins is huge, and like I said, I feel like as a team we're capable of more before the chase. But we just got to keep doing what we're doing and try to limit any mistakes. And will we take a little less of risk on some calls? Yeah, I mean possibly. But like I said, today was a little bit of a gamble, but it was I feel like we made an educated decision on that call, and if we feel like that's what we need to do to have a shot at another win, then I see us doing that.
Congratulations to you today, Brad. Terrific
Thanks, guys.
effort, and congratulations to you guys
Going
with
that way.
the number 2 Miller Lite Dodge.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.